Happy Friday, everyone. I'm Nuria.
And I'm Frank.
And welcome to another episode of ITT Podcast, which stands for In This Together Podcast. Our podcast is our honest take on relationships, love, and marriage, with the aim of sharing our views and experiences for you to take from it whatever you need.
So whether you're single, dating, in a relationship, or happily married, there is something in it for you.
Hi everyone. Today's episode is called It's Complicated, and we'll be talking about situationships, casual dating, all of that stuff to do with the complexities of modern day dating. We'll also touch on some of the issues with dating in today's day and age that we've been hearing about through the grapevine, and we'll give you our views on it. A situationship is an ambiguous romantic relationship that is undefined and not labelled as a relationship, but involves physical and emotional intimacy. It's often seen as a pre-relationship or a step before a committed relationship. So that's the definition we got for situationship. So based on this, what would you say is the difference between situationship and casual dating then?
There isn't any difference.
You think so?
They sound very similar.
I think the emphasis here for situationship was the physical and emotional intimacy. But then I guess you can have physical, emotional intimacy in casual dating.
Yeah.
Situationship is definitely a new term.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's probably something that they're probably one and the same, and it just probably depends on how old you are. Whether or not you say
I think in our time while we were dating each other, I think the word that we're used to is casual dating. I don't think we're used to the situationship.
Yeah. I don't think situationships existed as a term.
Yeah.
Okay, so why are we talking about this? One of the things that I think would be interesting for us to address is the fact that we have been together for a long time. So we dated a long time ago. We haven't dated since. So it seems like the kind of topic that we
don't know anything about, do we? So why are we talking about it?
It seems like the kind of topic that, is unusual for us to address, but it's important for us to address it nonetheless because
we do know young people.
Yeah.
We do know,
we old people?
No. Well, we do know younger
people,
family
youngers,
exactly. You want to call them youngers that are currently in that space.
Yeah.
So, and I think this would be useful for them.
Yeah.
As they navigate their way through the process.
Yeah. And I think also we might not have the experience in dating in today's scene, but we've definitely, like you said, we know people who are dating in today's scene, and not just younger people. I know people my age still dating in today's scene. Yeah. And I have friends who I speak to, or people that I speak to that I hear the issues that they're facing. And so I think it's interesting. It'll be interesting for us coming from a place where we've dated, we're married, and we're kind of navigating our relationship at that level to look at some of these issues and give our views on what we think the problem is and what we think we would do if we were dating in this scene, knowing what we know now about marriage and relationships.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. But I know that you were quite reluctant to do this topic.
Yeah, because basically I didn't feel like I had the knowledge. I do feel like an old man.
No.
That have been locked away for years.
Wow.
Not locked away. This is not a dungeon. but it feels like I've been off the market.
Yeah, okay.
For a long period of time. I don't even know what's going on.
A long periodically time.
A long time. You're the one that even mentioned the whole situationships to me. I wasn't aware of that.
You've heard of that term?
I've heard of it, but I really heard. I don't think I'd ever heard of it till you mentioned it.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it.
Wow, we're out of touch.
Even casual dating in the past for me was something that I tried to avoid.
Interesting.
So it was never like something that I preferred. I just wanted a serious girlfriend. I just wanted to get serious. Yeah, I'll put that on record.
Yeah, but I get what you're saying. Like, casual dating was not something that was frequent when we were like dating.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to make it seem like people were dating to get married, because that was not the case. People were casually dating each other.
But the thing is, dating during my time, was a bit of a fun thing. I think it's more serious now. I think if you talk about dating now, it's like you might as well be married. It's like there's that next step, couple of steps that you need to take. It feels like there's a lot of stress out there. From what I hear from people that are currently dating. When I was younger, dating would just be like meet up.
Yeah, there was no pressure.
There was no pressure. Yeah, basically that's what I'm looking for. It didn't feel like there was any pressure.
But do you think that might be because of the age that we dated as well? Like, I met Frank at 18. You were like 21.
Yeah, possibly.
So the dating that we had done was very youngish. Like, we had a lot of years ahead of us. So there was no pressure for us to kind of make it official and exclusive, and we didn't know for certain that we were going to end up married. Whereas people dating now, and the people we're talking to, they're probably like mid to late 20s.
But I guess that's the key with meeting your future partner. The younger you are, the easier it will be, because if you're dating at 31, 32, 33, the pressure's there already.
Pressure's on.
The pressure's on. But at 21, I don't think the pressure is there really. It's a case of like, meet me at McDonald's.
And you're not meeting nobody at McDonald's at 21 in 2023. Do you know where they're meeting?
Yeah, Hakkasan. I know. The pressure's there.
They're meeting at the Shard.
I know.
Was. Yeah, I mean, even you and I, we weren't meeting at McDonald's.
We were meeting at McDonald's.
We were meeting at Nando's.
Yeah, Nando's and whatnot. Yeah, it was still modest, but like, it wasn't Hakkasan. It wasn't, somewhere in West.
We were at Sexy Fish.
Yeah.
But that's social media. I mean, there's so much we can touch on with this, and I think we will touch on that as well. Like, 21-year-olds meeting up at the Shard, and the pressure to kind of perform. Dating. Yeah. That's interesting as well, because when we were dating, it was very much between me and you what we were doing during our dates. There wasn't that pressure to kind of impress not only the person you're dating but everybody else, or or her friends and stuff like that.
And social media wasn't big
exactly
like that.
That's what I'm saying.
There wasn't an Instagram back then.
No, not like that. I mean, no,
there wasn't
not
Instagram.
Really.
No Instagram.
Instagram came in when we were engaged, when we were going to get married.
Facebook was around, but it wasn't used like that. So
people didn't really know what people were doing. But we digressed a little bit. There's some things that we wanted to touch on in terms of this type of dating, right? So first of all, let's just address what are the potential risks and benefits of being in a situationship or casual dating. I mean, we've already established that they're pretty similar. It's pretty much the same thing. It just depends on terminology. And I would say casual dating is probably something that's a state that you agree to be in a relationship. Like, we're just casually dating, nothing's defined. Whereas a situationship, I think, is something that is not necessarily agreed. I think it's how you would describe something that you have with someone else. So true. That person might actually call you their girlfriend.
Yeah, but you might not feel.
But you're like, it's a bit of a situation.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Do you know what I mean? I don't think that term is necessarily something that you both agree and say, let's be in a situationship. I don't think that's really how that term is used. Whereas I think you can both say, we're just casually dating. Like, I'm just casually dating. This is not.
So there's more of an agreement with the casual dating than the situation.
I think it's more of an understanding.
People tend to fall into that situationship.
I think people could be casually dating and then fall into a situationship where maybe someone has got the wrong end of the stick, and it's not. It's intimate. I think there definitely needs to be intimacy for a situationship. Whereas casual dating, there might not be intimacy. You could just be casually dating lots of people.
That is true.
So I think that might be like a little slight difference there. Like situationship sounds like there needs to be some sort of clarification, because somebody's going to get hurt.
I agree.
That's what it sounds like. So what are the potential risks and benefits of casual dating and situationships? So if we start with casual dating, what are the potential benefits in your opinion? Not all of them, but like
casual dating.
Yeah.
Are there any benefits? I don't know.
Definitely. I'm sure there are definitely benefits.
I guess it allows you to explore your options. It allows you to get to know more people.
Yeah.
I mean, we've spoken previously in our previous podcast about boundaries and not dropping your standards, and that this could allow you to see different types of people and their standards and get to know people a bit better before you settle for one person.
Before you get serious.
So I think those would be the benefits that I would say.
As a girl, you could get a lot of wine and dining if you're dating.
Yeah, you can get fed nicely, innit?
Free food. But that's if you're a girl that expects the guy to pay. Some guys would expect girls to pay. And anyway, I'm teasing. I mean, free food is not a reason to be casually dating people. You'll be pretty trifling to be casually dated just for free food. True. But I guess you, like you're saying, you get a lot of experiences. You definitely get to kind of learn more about what you do and don't like, because sometimes you don't even know what you do and don't like until you see it in other people and you're like, oh, that guy, he was so annoying. I didn't like him because of this. Or that girl, she acted like this. I think that really, I'd never even seen a girl act like that. That really, I didn't like that.
So it allows you to get to know people on that plain level first before you take it to the next step.
I know. Yeah. I think that's a big benefit of casually dating. I also think a benefit of casual dating is that you both know what it is. So if you're both casual dating, like I said, I think you both agree, because normally when you're getting serious, you both agree to get serious. So I think if you're casually dating and you're both aware that you're both dating, then there's a less chance of someone getting hurt because it seems like it's a bit more organized about there needs to be an agreement before you guys are exclusive. And
you've got to make sure that you both have agreed that you are casually dating. That is, you are dating. That's what it is. Not a case of like, oh, I'm kind of dating this girl and then she thinks, that's my man.
That would be a situationship.
Yes. So
what are the benefits? I mean, I don't think I can't think of any other benefit apart from the fact that you're just taking things slow. You get to know yourself a lot more. You actually give yourself a chance to actually date other people and lots more people. There's less pressure on yourselves because it's casual, it's dating. What's the benefits of situationships? I mean, it says an ambiguous romantic relationship that is undefined and not labeled as a relationship, but involves physical and emotional intimacy. Yeah, I think that's actually very different from casual dating because it's an ambiguous, whereas casual dating is not ambiguous. Like I said, you would expect both of you to agree that you're dating casually. This sounds very wishy-washy and lofty. It's ambiguous, it's undefined, it's not labeled, it's
very dangerous.
It sounds it sounds confusing and it sounds like, so at which point are we going, what happens?
I don't think there's any benefit in the situation.
I don't think so,
really, because someone will get hurt. Someone will definitely get hurt. So
because when do you end the situation?
Exactly. The other person could be, their feelings are growing for you, and then you're just, sliding through. That's wrong. Or I don't see any benefits on that.
Yeah, I agree. And I guess even just through this benefits exercise, we can kind of say that our view would be both of them are similar, but if this is what you want in terms of uncommitted relationship or dating, make sure it's more of a casual dating relationship and get it defined as such. Don't kind of stumble into a situationship. Because if you both at least accept that you're casually dating, then you can agree certain points and check in with each other about whether or not you want to take things more seriously. So
I agree.
What are the risks? I mean, from talking about situationships, the risks is someone could get hurt. At which point do you know?
It's risky. And it mentions physical and emotional intimacy as well. Like someone could get pregnant.
Oh yeah. And I didn't even think about that.
Situationships becomes baby mother, baby daddy kind of situation. Very quickly. So
that's so true. So you have to be making sure that you're. Look at you sounding stressed.
I'm stressed already. Like, and you're like, I could just picture a guy that falls into that situation. he's screwed. Like, basically, you're in trouble. He's in no trouble.
But
Yeah.
I think you're right. You know, you have to make sure that you're protecting yourself in these situations.
Be
Because,
safe.
Yeah. Be safe, use protection, make sure even if you're on contraceptives, also think about diseases and things like that. And you know, obviously that's the truth of it. You can't be in a situationship and just kind of be having intimate relations with people, and then you're not thinking about that side of it. And I'm sure we're talking to mature people. So
of course we are.
They already know that.
But even so, like, even the whole situationship, I think there is an impact on the future as well. Because if you're just in that situationship space, then the clock is ticking. You know, I think it also has an impact. I can imagine it will also have an impact on your confidence, because you don't have that certainty.
Yeah.
You don't have that certainty, because obviously it's a situationship. There's no clarity if you're boyfriend and girlfriend. So it's just like you're just seeing each other, you're just sleeping with each other. So it's kind of like
time. It's true. There's definitely risk of feelings getting hurt. There's risk of confusion. There's risk of pregnancy, and you know, and that's not just for women, you know, guys as well getting women pregnant. There's definitely the risk of time, you know, losing time as a disadvantage. If you're casually dating, there's another risk that you could actually miss a good person. Because let's say you're casually dating, and you know, you're dating one or two guys, and there's no intimacy involved. You're just dating them, for example. Because you're dating more than one guy, you could choose to become more exclusive with one of them, and it actually you're actually better suited for the other guy. But because you didn't want to kind of settle with the first guy you met, you wanted to date, that guy's now gone. And the same thing with a guy, you know, that girl is now gone. Let's say you meet a girl, you're 18, and you're like, but I really want to date more people. And then 10 girls down the line, you're like, girl number one was perfect. Yeah,
it's true. It is very true. So, it's very true. Yeah.
Because you're not putting that level of effort to see what it could really be from the beginning.
Yeah. That's why I think the old school way, you meet someone, you like them, you give them the opportunity, and just be with them.
That sounds like give them the opportunity.
No, just, you know, give them a try. See where it goes.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so this is the fun part. We're going to talk about what we've been hearing about the current dating scene that is different from when we were dating. So we've got a few key buzzwords that we want to kind of address and talk about, delve a bit deeper into the current state of modern day dating. And then we will also give some tips on how we think you could navigate dating in today's day and age. But yeah, let's talk about some of these interesting things. So should we list the things first?
Yeah.
And then we'll kind of go into each of them. So talking stages. It's complicated as a status. Ghosting, social media, hookup culture, side chick culture, dating apps, friend zone,
lack of commitment. Interesting.
Or fear of commitment. But yeah, so let's talk about talking stages first, because this is something that I've heard a lot about. Relationships now seem to go through stages that everybody seems to acknowledge, which wasn't really the case before. It was just, we've met each other and we're going to literally just see how it goes. But nowadays, there seems to be the kind of talking stage, then there's the kind of physically seeing each other stage.
So it's kind of like a project. Yeah,
a project.
Yeah, a project. You have to go through different cycles.
Yeah, it seems like that. And then it's like dating for a while and then becoming exclusive.
Wow.
And then,
Okay.
And that's exclusive, but you're not even necessarily the girlfriend or the boyfriend. You're just exclusively dating now.
Wow.
Are you hearing all of this for the first time?
That could be a lot of years down the line. That by the time that project is ended. But I wasn't aware of that. That's the first time I'm hearing of that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is why this podcast, we try not to talk about anything we're going to discuss beforehand so that we can get our natural reaction.
Wow.
So talking stages is basically the stage where you're just kind of talking to each other. You're not even considered dating. And it's probably like in the beginning when we used to talk on the phone for hours and stuff like that. But in talking stages, it's like you're literally in the talking stage, and you can actually be in that stage for a while.
But do you talk to other people as well?
Yeah, you could be in the talking stage with multiple people.
So a girl could actually be talking to 4 or 5 guys at the same time, because obviously they're all in talking stages.
So it's a new word for a very old phenomenon, apparently. The talking stage is used to describe the nebulous start of a relationship where both parties likely meet either in person or more likely online, or they're just talking on the phone. How long does a talking stage last? It can last from a few days to a few months. And the thing is, the talking stage existed when we were dating, but it wasn't a defined stage.
Yeah.
And I think that's the difference.
Yeah.
It's like, and now it's probably not a defined stage either, but it's much more expected to exist in a relationship.
But the talking stages, I remember, was a mixture of what we were doing. Like, we saw each other, we were talking a lot. So it was, there wasn't like we had to talk for a couple of months before I saw you or before we went out. So I think we mixed it up, or people back then mixed it up a bit. But it seems like it's a and it's probably more acceptable now to just be in a talking stage for as long as you need to be. From both parties. Like, okay. So it's not like a one-sided thing whereby
I'm sure it can get complicated.
We're currently at a talking stage, and the guy feels like, well, I think she kind of likes me, kind of thing. Like, I think we're moving on to that next stage. Is it being defined that we're in a talking?
No, I don't think there's like okay, we're in the talking stage and then we will exit the talking stage on week 5. I don't think it's like that. And I think that's where it can be confusing. But what I'm saying is it's like there is now a phrase for it. And I think that makes it weird, because before you naturally kind of met each other and got into the talking stage, and you just kind of naturally fell out of the talking stage. Whereas now, because there is a recognized talking stage, there might actually be a difference between how long you think we're in a talking stage versus how long I think we're in a talking stage. Okay. So I think the issue is not that it didn't exist before. I think it did exist, but it wasn't a defined thing, which now, because everybody knows talking stages exist, it's probably caused a lot more confusion, because you could be kept in this talking stage for a long time and maybe you're ready to move into something more serious, and you'll have to kind of say. Okay. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So in terms of navigating the talking stage, I think it's
just be clear. Yeah, be clear with each other. So are we in the talking stages? Or what? No, because
nobody's probably going to ask that. They'll probably feel very.
You have to ask that. You have to. It sounds silly, but you have to ask that. What are we? Because if we're in the talking stages, that means that you are potentially talking to other guys, right? So I need to know where I stand. Because if that's what you're doing, I could be guy number 4. So if I find another girl that's ready to move on to stage 2, that I like, I can close this project and say, right, okay, I'm doing a handover.
We didn't progress.
We didn't progress this. I'm progressing this one. Thank you for your time. I'm going to move on to this project. That's it. So define it. You have to define it. Like, we're in the talking stage. Get clarity on it.
To be honest, that's what I would do. If I think about how I was about dating, and obviously if you've listened to other podcasts before that we've done, you'll know that I've said that, I asked Frank, like, what are we?
Very bullish.
And so if I was in today's day and age and there was such thing as a talking stage, I would ask outright.
You definitely would. Yeah. You just want clarity on it. Like, is this the talking stage? And you want to know how long in the talking stage you're going to be. Is it a 3 weeks thing? Is it a 2 months thing?
No, you can't. I don't think you can say it in advance, but I think I will get to a point where I'll be like, where are we going next? Are we?
So you'll be very, very forward with your questions and with your thinking. Yeah.
Like, I want to make sure if there are all these stages, I want to make sure that I know exactly when we've moved on to a next stage.
Because you could easily be in that stage for months when you don't need to. Like, it's not saying, but you need to have like checkpoints where you you meet each other. It's like, okay, right, we've been talking for 2 months now, we kind of like each other. Are we going to carry on talking? Because one of you guys might not feel like carrying on with the conversations. It might be the next time to move on. So,
Okay, so the next thing was, it's complicated as a kind of relationship status. I don't think this is necessarily something that's like used all the time. So I think it's kind of like something in jest. Let's see what Urban Dictionary has to say about it's complicated. So one of the options for relationship status on Facebook refers to a couple in an ambiguous state between friends and in a relationship. It may also be used to indicate dissatisfaction with an existing relationship. So it's complicated.
Yeah.
It's like you're not in a relationship, but you're not in a relationship, and it's just complicated. Oh, I mean, I've heard of this. I'm very familiar with this complicated, and I don't like it at all. I guess it goes against everything that I believe in when it comes to relationship, because it is one of those things that is just screams ambiguity. But maybe it's something that you use when other people ask you. Maybe, I mean, the two of you probably don't go around saying you're in it's complicated relationship. It's probably, that's why I'm saying it's something that's in jest, because it's something that someone will be like, oh, what's going on between you two? And it's like, oh, it's complicated. But I still don't like it, because I think nothing should be complicated. You should know where you are.
Either you're in or you're out.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's either you're in or you're out. It should be as simple as that. There shouldn't be anything complicated, because if there's any complications, it needs to be worked out.
Yeah. It means that nobody's communicating.
Yeah.
There's a lack of communication
there. Yeah.
Okay, ghosting. So ghosting is...
This word I've heard many times, but I've never really...
Oh, come on, Frank.
I've never really comprehended it. Because it's not in my vocabulary or in my dictionary. But go on, explain.
No, I think you can tell me what ghosting is without reading anything. Like, what do you think ghosting is? If someone said, oh, she just ghosted me. Come on. You're from London. Like, you could guess what that term is.
She ignored me. She stopped talking to me. Cut off all communication.
Yeah, that's it.
That's it. Simple.
So why are you acting like the term has literally got you bamboozled?
Because that's not me.
Is it?
That's never been me.
No, you're not.
That's not me.
Actually, let's be careful what we say, because there's probably girls out there that'll be like, he ghosted me back in 2000.
Apologies.
Have you ever ghosted anybody?
I probably have, but hey, it was younger, isn't it? It was younger. I'm sure I have. I don't remember, but I'm sure I have.
Yeah.
And if I have, apologies, huh?
You know, it's like apologies, eh?
Time has moved on. We've all moved on, right? So sorry.
I mean, I don't think I've ever ghosted anybody, and
you're more sensible than I am, so
yeah. I wouldn't have ghosted anybody because I'm such a communicator. I don't think I've never ghosted anyone. So Urban Dictionary says, and we're going to stick to Urban Dictionary because these are very Urban Dictionary terms. When a person cuts off all communication with their friends or the person they're dating with zero warning or notice beforehand, it's like avoiding their calls. You might like block them on social media, all that kind of stuff. Ghosting is like there was no explanation. You just stopped communicating with that person. You stopped replying. I think it's...
I don't think I have then.
Really?
In that term, yeah.
You haven't just deleted some girl's number from your phone and just...
I have quite a few.
So
I guess I have then.
So you've definitely ghosted. I think it's something that men probably did a lot more in the past, and women do a lot more now.
I think
I'm not saying they do it more than men. I don't know who ever did it more, but I'm saying, I can see this when we were dating as being something that guys probably did to girls when they didn't want to deal with their feelings, or they didn't want to
be committed and stuff.
Yeah, or even just tell them that they don't like them like that.
Yeah, true.
Or maybe after they've got what they wanted, they ghosted.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think this is something that is not new. I think like women have been dealing with ghosting for a while.
I think they have.
And there's probably men that have also been dealing with it. But I think now it's probably becoming more of a level playing field. Like people just ghosting people
probably
a lot more.
Yeah, that's an interesting one.
Yeah, so I think it's disrespectful. I think if you're in
avoid doing it.
Yeah, definitely avoid doing it. But also, if someone ghosts you and then shows up 2 months later, don't give them the time of day.
Yeah.
This is a phenomenon where it's like, I think it's probably one of the harder parts of dating in today's day and age, if it does actually happen frequently, because this can really knock your self-esteem.
It's a red flag.
But it's a huge red flag.
If they show up again.
I don't even think it's a red flag. I think it's a deal breaker. You ghost me, that's it. We're done.
Yeah, it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Social media. This is another one of those things.
The devil.
Stop it. What is your beef with social media? Can you just tell everybody that listens to ITT Podcast what your beef is with
social media is the devil.
How can you say that?
That's it.
It's not the devil. There are people on social media making money, making businesses. It's a way to reach out to people. It's a way to see what's out there. But it's so helpful.
But it's destroying communities. It's destroying people. It's destroying relationships. Yeah.
There's loads of, Frank, you can get so much information on social media, you know, like planning birthdays. There's vendors on there. It's so helpful.
Yeah.
There's comments from people who have used certain vendors or, you know, dressmakers, hairdressers. I'm
not saying that it's not beneficial, but too much of it is very dangerous. That's just my opinion.
True. Okay. That's true.
But
too much of anything
is dangerous. Too much of anything is not good. So when we talk about social media in this context, what are we saying then?
Yeah, so we're saying, okay, so when it comes to social media in the current dating scene, how is social media impacting the current dating scene versus when we were dating?
I think it's become more about not just about us, but other people. What other people think. Going on dates. Can you imagine having the casual dating, and then social media combined? Then people could just stay on that casual dating space for a very long time, so they can just keep posting about restaurants that they're going to, different guys that they're dating, or not necessarily. It's not even about the guys. Sometimes it's the places that they're being taken to. Yeah, being in specific locations and whatnot. The meals, their drinks, and just the scene. It's all about them.
Yeah, you could use it to really just present a life, and not take relationships very seriously.
That's another risk.
And sometimes it can make it very shallow. You know, sometimes it's like, even sometimes when me and you go out, because I like snapping memories, because Snap always reminds you like, oh, this is what you were doing on this day last year. So I always, if we go out, I'll always like snap our meal. It literally takes like 3 seconds, but I will always snap it. And you're like, do you have to every time? But you don't get upset. But I think it is a different dining out date night experience than before Snap.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, when we used to
before
go
social
to a
media,
restaurant, we just communicate, just sit there, and just eat, have a chat, and it's just me and you there. Now it's like we're sitting there, I'm looking at you, you're looking at your phone, I'm looking at my phone, and we put our phone down, we look at each other, we're back on our phone again. So it's like,
do we do?
Yeah, we do.
We put our phone down.
We do that sometimes, quite a bit of time.
We
almost have to tell each other like, look, no more phones. Put your phone down. Put your phone down.
No, we're not that.
Then we stop.
We don't get like that. I'm not gonna.
Then we put the phone down.
I think
we always have to flog each other first, so that to stop using the phone. But before, we only had the 3210s. I think I had the 7210s. There was no like videos or nothing like that.
Yeah, true.
We just had the phone in my pocket. That's it. We have a good meal, have a good discussion, and then
true. That's true. I mean, now we definitely have to be. We're conscious about the fact that we put our phones face down when we're at dinner, and I literally pick it up to be like, okay, I'm gonna snap the meal, and then put it back down.
True.
Or I pick it up to be like, oh, let me just film you like every now and then. But even if you look at the videos, it's literally like 10 seconds.
I know it's for memory, as you said. But anyways, going back to this whole thing and about situationship and about dating, my fear is that when you mix in social media, it becomes about the dating part. It's not about getting to know the person.
Yeah,
that becomes about that. Oh yeah, he took me to Hakkasan. He took me to thingy. Yeah. Then it's about the scene. It's about the social media. It's about posting stuff up. It's not about, okay, well, what about the guy? How was he? Did you guys, get along?
Yeah. And also social media can impact relationships in the fact that you really see what people are doing on a regular basis if they post frequently. So whereas before, if a relationship was fizzling out, you don't really know what's happening with them. Whereas now, if you're following them, then you see what they're up to.
After like 6 months, no more pictures of Hakkasan. There's like,
oh, you and Hakkasan.
Has she been dumped?
No, I'm talking about the
person.
No, I'm talking about the person who's dating you.
Yeah.
Depending on the relationship.
Yeah.
They will see what you're up to.
Yeah.
And so you almost have to make a conscious decision to block them, delete them, remove them. You have to do all of that. Why? Because if you're in a situation where the relationship is about to die out, you don't necessarily want them seeing everything that you're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
So maybe you don't post as much or whatnot. I don't know, but it's another factor for you to think about. Like, okay, what am I going to do about the fact that this guy follows me?
I know.
And even like, oh my gosh, another way social media probably impacts current dating relationships is I see this all the time as well. When people have issues in a relationship or they break up and they remove all the pictures of the guy. That's so weird. Or the girl. Yeah. Obviously, I'm a girl, so I'll say from a guy. Yeah. But that's really weird because I think of the amount of times you and I broke up, like decided, we're not doing this no more. Yeah. If I deleted your pictures every time.
Yeah, you won't have any pictures of me. Yeah.
No, they probably still have it somewhere stored. But I'm just saying, like, it's interesting that sometimes social media can show what's happening in your relationship. Yeah. And then you get back together and there's more pictures. It's just like that whole dynamic is very, very interesting.
Just my advice would be
keep it off
social media as much as you can.
Until it's serious.
Yeah. Because if you're on a casual dating, then keep it simple until it becomes a boyfriend girlfriend thing.
And I think a lot of people do now. I think a lot of people don't post their relationships unless they're like married and stuff.
True.
Because
but then again, but isn't that what we're seeing because we're married? What are the youngsters seeing? They're probably seeing dating pictures or pictures of restaurants and stuff. Yeah.
Okay. Hookup culture. Hookup culture.
Don't know about that. What is that?
Hookup is where you get together and you do the deeds, you do the thing, you're not really in a relationship. You're just hooking up. So if you think of like, you can actually just kind of meet up with somebody, just hook up, and then that's it. It's just for hooking up. The hookup culture exists where it's like we're just hooking up. We're not in a relationship at all. We're not even dating.
I need to check my age again because I don't know how.
How can you not be aware of this? I think you are aware of it. I think it's just not part of your life. Like you don't think about that.
I knew there were apps. There were dating apps, right? Like you meet someone from the app. Like if you like them, blah blah blah. I know about dating app, but when you talk about the swipe left, swipe right, and then you meet someone, it's like a hookup kind of thing. Like it's just for the thing. If you both look, you go on a date. Consent, I get you that go on a dating app. That app is just for that alone.
There are apps like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I think some people they have an understanding.
Wow. There'll be a lot of disease out there then.
But this is it. We can't act like that's dangerous. When we were dating, there was definitely a hookup culture bubbling up.
Yeah, but that was just like meet me at McDonald's. That's like black chat. That's like you go onto this website. You
meet to know people. Linkage. Like that's what everybody called it.
I'm on a linkage, but it wasn't. Linkage was not like do the thing. No. When we were younger like that. Like, as we got older, it became a bit like that. But if you're telling me now that there are apps, especially specifically for that,
you sound like out of touch.
I definitely am. Wow. No.
I didn't know you didn't know this, so this is hilarious.
Yeah.
I think that can impact relationships in modern day dating as well, because then there's so many different types of relationship you can be having that's quite acceptable that you really have to be clear about what you're in it for, because someone could meet up with you, they're on a hookup thing, you're not.
Yeah.
It's like it's even more complicated and even more convoluted. So that has an impact as well. That's one of those things that I'm like, that's very different. When we were dating, you had to be a bit of a sleazeball to be meeting up with a girl only to hook up. Most of the time, she probably is not aware that that's what you had in mind.
Yeah.
Like that's all you had in mind.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I guess it's, with two consenting adults, it's something that is definitely out there. It's definitely a possibility. And it's probably something you have to, be clear about. Like, no, that's not what I'm on.
Wow. Okay.
If the other person is on that.
Yeah. Like, I guess if you're on that app, you are on that app for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's no miscommunication. It's not app for hooking up and then you're on there looking for a long-term relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough, yeah.
So it's probably not that bad, but the fact that those kind of things now exist a lot more and it's a lot more acceptable is something that probably makes dating a bit more complicated. Yeah. It just means that you need to be even clearer with communicating, because there's so many different ways right now of relationships going.
Yeah. For me, it makes it even more dangerous when you go back to the casual dating. Because when you start casually just dating different people, some of these people are in that hookup culture space. They
hookup
mindset. They've moved up a level doing other things, and then you're just casually dating.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
It's not the best.
It's not the best at all.
Okay, so side chick culture, we can say from when we were dating, side chicks or being a side chick, it was really not the done thing.
No.
I don't think there was a side chick culture.
No.
So if you were in a relationship with someone, you assumed you were in an exclusive relationship.
Yeah.
And it was quite frowned upon for you to be a side chick.
Yeah.
Anyone who was a side chick when around our time of dating, early 2000s, whatever, didn't know they were a side chick.
Yeah, true.
You were not trying to be a side chick.
Yeah.
There was no proud side chicks.
You were striving for more.
I can't.
No, you were striving for more. You wanted the relationship with that person. Yeah.
And I guess times are different now, obviously, but I think there was definitely more of a shame attached to it. Like, you're not trying other people to know they're side
were
chicks.
Embarrassed when they found out that, oh my God, that he's got a girlfriend, or she had a boyfriend, or she's got a boyfriend. But now it's kind of like they know you have a thing, and then it's like, yeah, that's the person I want.
Yeah. And side chick culture is a lot more accepted.
Yeah.
And that makes dating even harder, because some people are out here taken, and you're dating them thinking that you're in an exclusive relationship and you're the side chick and you didn't even know. Or
you knew.
Or
you're just getting other benefits of it.
Yeah, but even that, in terms of dating though, like the fact that you can just be someone's side chick, it just makes the dating a lot more complicated, in my opinion, because it's like, well, what are you trying to get out of it? It's the moral compass is spinning.
Yeah.
It's off at the moment, you know what I mean? Like, some people don't care that they're a side chick, and so you're in that situation where you're like, oh, okay, there's women out there that would literally like try to date your husband. And that's always been the case. So I'm not trying to make it seem like that wasn't the case, but the fact that the culture shifted to that being more normalized.
They were hidden.
Yeah.
It was like but now it's like a
Yeah.
Sako.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's his side chick. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no issue.
And we're not just going to talk about side chicks, there's side man culture.
Yeah.
And we're going to do a whole episode about this, and talk about it and how we feel about it and stuff. But it's not just side chicks, it's side men as well. And it makes it harder to trust people, I think.
It does.
Because you just don't know what they're...
It does. But there are ways around it. I'm just going to be like perfectly honest with you, like, about the whole side chick and people fall into that trap and whatnot. You're a 31 or 30-year-old woman and you're dating a 45-year-old man, right? Do your due diligence.
Do your checks and back.
Do your checks and everything, because chances are that man is got a relationship or he's married or something. Because just think about the age.
Yeah.
So just do your checks.
Yeah, because he could be divorced and everything.
He could be divorced, cool. But it all goes back to standard. Like, you set your standards. Sometimes we miss the red flags.
Yeah. Dating apps. Yeah, dating apps make it hard as well.
It's not the same as social media.
Kind of, yeah.
We've covered apps and dating apps and stuff.
Dating apps is pretty much the same thing, but I think there is a difference in terms of the way people are meeting each other, because dating apps are apps specifically for dating. It's not really social media. Yeah. And that is interesting. I mean, dating apps just quite frankly didn't really exist when we were dating. But if I was dating in today's day and age and there were dating apps,
I wouldn't use it.
You wouldn't?
No, I would not use it, because I know those things are algorithm generated. I'm not gonna go into that, but that's a different different discussion. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's interesting. We do have on the list to talk about dating apps as an actual episode as well.
Yeah.
But I guess on a high level basis, in terms of how we think they're impacting relationships in today's day and age, I think it makes it easier to meet people from all over the world.
That's true.
And that can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing. So I think it's one of those things where it's like, it depends on your tolerance level for kind of going through or sifting through different types of men or different types of women, which I think you really need to ask yourself, what's your tolerance level for that? Because that stuff can also knock your confidence.
That's true.
So,
and it could be dangerous as well, because you don't know who you're meeting though.
Yeah.
Through those apps.
But you don't know who you're meeting on the street as well. But I do know what you mean. Yeah. There's an added
If you
danger.
see a mad woman on the street, you know that's a mad girl, a mad woman. But through an app, that could be an old picture of her.
Yeah, I don't know. I know. Yeah, but I think I would use dating apps, but I think I would be very cautious about how I used it.
Okay.
Friend zone. That's when you really like someone, but they kind of keep you in the friend zone.
Oh,
yeah. And I think
sad.
Friend zoning is probably something that happens to people and they don't even realize until it's too late that they've been friend zoned.
Then they get hurt
But or you could be in the friend zone and you know it and you're trying to get out. You're trying to get into a relationship.
That's true. That is true.
How would you advise a guy who's in a friend zone? Well,
be honest.
Be honest. See, this is it. We're very
Honesty
direct about stuff.
It's like, be honest. I'm in this friend zone, but I don't want to be here. Do you feel this way about me as I feel about you?
You're like,
no.
Nah.
Then move on. If the answer is no, then you just move on. Then leave that, leave that zone.
Yeah, I think it's all about communication.
Yeah, it's all about communication and honesty. And then the lack of commitment as well.
Yeah.
Is that something that is being talked about out there?
I think that's been talked about a lot. I think they've been talked about a lot because there's so much variety now. It's harder for people to commit, and there's so many games and stuff. It's harder for people. And I think with lack of commitment, it's one of those things where you have to really try and find someone that aligns with what you want and what you think. And I think that's where some of the stuff that we've been saying before this come into play. If you're getting the red flags and you can see that they seem to be having issues with taking the relationship seriously, then just say it to them and be open and honest about it, and just be like, is this, I feel like you seem to have issues with commitment. You might even find that just by being open about it, that you help them kind of break past that.
That's true,
That's how I would address that in today's day and age. So what has caused this increase in popularity or normality for kind of casual dating and, situationship is complicated? What do you think has caused all of that? The way society is now in terms of dating?
I think people are becoming more free to do what they want.
Which is not a bad thing.
It's a great thing. I think people are becoming more free to do what they want. I think they are more expressive about themselves. Yeah.
That's weird because I think people are less expressive.
No.
I think people are trying to fit themselves into boxes.
But when I said expressive, I mean like they are exploring more in that terms that they explore. People want to explore more.
Yeah.
They don't want to commit. Like we saw the lack of commitment there. They don't want to commit straight away. They want to see what's out there first before they commit.
Yeah,
I think that's what's
causing it. And I think also we're becoming like one-track minded. Social media is merging people's thought processes into one big gigantic way of thinking. And I think the pressures to perform, because there's people watching now, because we all have social media, I think is probably one of the reasons why relationships have taken such a blurred turn. And I think also the fact that society, like you're saying, is becoming free, it means that women are becoming much more
independent. Maybe independent is not the word.
No, I don't think it's really
what you're
independent, because women are actually now talking a bit more about wanting men that can provide. So that's not really independent. That's kind of a shift from what it was before. But I think women are becoming a lot more vocal, like you're saying, maybe what you're saying, expressive about what they will and won't accept in relationships. Whereas before, that was kind of defined for us, what we should and shouldn't accept, and then that was it. It's that shift. Yeah. So because of that, I don't think the two, especially in kind of heterosexual relationships, I don't think men and women are gelling they're not in sync. That's the word. They're not in sync very well. And so it's causing a situation where the people who want certain things are finding it hard to find each other, because it's just a pool of all types of people. Okay, so what advice would we give people today to help navigate the current dating scene? So we've got 6 things. We've had a think about this, and some of it is going to echo things we've said before, but
it's important to set boundaries with the people that you're dating or the people that you meet. Have that clarity to what your boundaries are, and also as well set boundaries for yourself, like know what you are, how far you're willing to go. That's
so true. Communication, like we've been saying, everything that we talk about, we're always like, okay, well, then tell that person. Okay, well, just say it.
Yeah.
And I think that's key, especially in today's day and age, because you need to be clear about what you expect, but also you need to speak up for yourself, and you need to listen. So listening to the person as well, in order to identify red flags and stuff like that, is important.
I agree.
We also think number 3, be honest with yourself. It's important to be honest with yourself about what you want, what you need in a relationship, but also not just a relationship, but also when you're dating. The guy might be really good looking, you really like him, and you're dating him, but you're not being honest with yourself that he's actually a bit of a douche.
Yeah.
That he's a jerk. No, I'm joking. But yeah, you might not be honest with yourself sometimes when you're dating people, and I think it's really important to be honest. Also in terms of what that relationship is. Don't try and progress it further in your own little mind.
Is it just a casual thing?
Yeah.
Or is it
have evidence
to be more serious?
Yeah. Have evidence for why you think it is what it is, and then check, right? Respect yourself and the person you're dating.
That's very, very
always treat people with respect. They're more likely to respect you as well.
Yeah. Don't put pressure on yourself or the person that you're dating.
Yeah. Take it slow. So that's number 5. Don't rush into things. Don't put pressure. And number 6, be safe.
Yeah, that's important. Be safe. Especially if you're casual dating.
Especially if you're being intimate.
Yeah.
Practice safe sex. Use protection every time. Take care of yourself, the people you're with.
Yeah.
And remember, especially like Frank's saying, if you're casual dating, then who else are they casual dating? And what is that person doing and everything else? So you got to be realistic about things like diseases and things like that as well. And just, be safe. And I think people these days are really safe because that's really been drummed into their head all this time.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
So that's it from us on this. I mean, we've talked about the definitions of casual dating, situationships. We've talked about some of the things that we've been seeing or hearing about in the current dating scene. And we've given some tips on what we think the best ways to approach dating in today's day and age. So just to summarize, those are setting boundaries, communication, being honest with yourself, respecting yourself and the person you're dating, taking it slow, don't rush it, don't put pressure on them, and being safe. And that's not just in intimacy, but even like where you go with people and how well you know them to do certain things with them, taking trips to other parts of the world and stuff like that. Make sure you do your due diligence and make sure you check up and make sure you know who you're going with.
Yeah.
So that's it from us.
That's it.
This topic was hard to cover because it's not...
It was.
And I think maybe one day we'll do something where we have someone who's currently dating.
Yeah, that'll be useful, I think.
Yeah. But this is how we feel about what we've been hearing about the current dating scene.
Yeah. And if we've got it all wrong, please do let us know. Do put something in the comments.
Yeah. Let us know for sure.
It's not like that.
So that's it, guys. You've heard what we've had to say about modern day dating and relationships. We've given you our views on all things to do with the current dating scene, and we've given you some tips on how we think you can best navigate it. We appreciate everyone that takes the time to listen to our podcast, and we're super grateful for all your engagement with us. We really hope you tune into the next episode, which will be in honor of our 10-year wedding anniversary. We'll be talking about all the things we do in our relationship to ensure we're always in it together. So definitely join us for that. Don't forget to email us any of your questions, comments, or dilemmas at itt.thepodcast@gmail.com or send us a DM on Instagram at ITT Podcast, or one word. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we'll speak to you on the next one. Bye.